And don't forget to subscribe to Critter Ed TV.
Hey guys, welcome back to Critter Ed TV. I'm Amelia and this is my older sister Sandra.
Last episode we saw some really cool land animals from Maui.
Yeah, especially the Jackson's chameleon, which we don't have here in Arizona.
This episode we returned to our Sonoran Desert to show you the incredible sea life that we saw on our trip to Puerto Peñasco, Mexico.
And to celebrate our return to Tucson, I'm holding Leonardo da Vinci, our giant hairy scorpion. No desert animal is more iconic or misunderstood.
Speaking of misunderstood, many people don't know that the Sonoran Desert has an ocean.
It's called the Sea of Cortez, and Jacques Cousteau called it the world's aquarium. After this episode, you'll understand why.
Hello critter enthusiasts and welcome back to Critter Ed TV. I'm your host Jed Dodds and beside me is Clint Elliott, the Scorpion Whisperer.
That's right. I whisper to put them in Zen mode so they don't sting me.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that have seen our Scorpion episodes, you know that Clint is in virtually no danger of being stung. And for those of you that haven't, subscribe and check out those episodes because they will definitely change your opinion on how dangerous people think scorpions really are. Now, you did not bring out Da Vinci to talk about scorpions. You actually brought her out because she's closely related to a lot of the sea life that you and your family saw in Puerto Peñasco.
Yeah, scorpions are arthropods, which means they're part of the same animal phylum as lobsters and crabs. And they share a lot of the same characteristics like exoskeletons and pincers.
Yeah, they definitely bear a similar resemblance. And I've actually heard people call scorpions venomous lobsters as a nickname.
Yeah, they look a lot alike, and being from Maine, I know lobsters.
And being from Maine, you also know tide pools, which is the focus of this episode.
I've been exploring tide pools since I could walk, and I was really excited after moving to Tucson to learn that the best tide pools in the world are right here in our Sonoran Desert.
Yeah, I've been to Puerto Peñasco so many times and I couldn't agree more. So why don't we show all of you why Peñasco and the Sea of Cortez is so special.
Just 60 miles south of the Arizona border, Puerto Peñasco is a small fishing and resort city in the Mexican state of Sonora. Known as Rocky Point to tourists, Peñasco sits on the northern edge of the Sea of Cortez.
Cortez is one of the world's most biodiverse bodies of water. Nearly 900 species of fish and the widest variety of whales and dolphins anywhere on Earth live there.
We were lucky to swim with sea lions and interact with dolphins on previous visits, but an offshore storm kept us from doing that this trip. Luckily, Peñasco's low tides, which are a stunning 24 feet lower than the highs, exposed acres of intertidal ecosystems for us to explore.
The first thing you see when you approach the intertidal zone is a swath of colorful shells near the high tide line. These shells may be the remnants of ocean life lost, but they're also a sign of a healthy ecosystem. A large volume and variety of shells on shore means there's an even larger volume and variety of life still alive below the surface. Jed, before we get to the live animals we found, I want to take a moment to talk about a dead one. Most animal education programs wouldn't touch this, but I think it's too important. A few days before we arrived in Peñasco, an endangered fin whale beached itself directly in front of the hotel we were going to stay at.
Yeah, I heard about that, and it's so sad to lose any animal, but especially one as rare as a fin whale.
Yeah, we're 99% sure that what we found is a section of baleen from that whale, but when I filmed it, I didn't know about the beaching, so I pose a lot of questions. In hindsight, I'm pretty sure we know what it is. But folks, if any of you watching have a better idea than I do, please educate us in the comments section.
Well, let's take a look at it.
So guys, upon first inspection, we thought that this was baleen, and it still very well might be. I'm not an expert on this by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe you guys at home can help. This is obviously from a whale, and that's why we were thinking baleen, because on one side it has this long, stringy filtering material, it looks like, that would filter out krill and plankton. But then when we flip it over, it has almost like a, God, it feels like a scale almost. It's very bony but flexible, and it comes in these layers, layer after layer after layer. It's very, very, very pretty, I think. I don't know, what do you guys think? Snails had already started taking up residence in it. You can see a little one right there. A lot of them have fallen off. But anyway, we'd love to hear what you folks at home think. And is this baleen?
Wow, I agree that it's baleen, but what do you folks think? Do you think it's from an endangered fin whale?
Yeah, we're not whale experts, so if you guys know something that we don't, please chime in. So Jed, are you finally ready to see some live animals?
I was born ready.
Me too, we're twinsies.
No, we're not. Nope.
The first critters you'll likely encounter in the intertidal zones of Peñasco are an icon of the American subtropics, pelicans.
Pelicans dive headfirst into the water just offshore, using their wide beak and expandable throat pouch to scoop up to 5 gallons of water at a time.
They then tip their head back and drain the water from the corners of their mouths so their intended target, fish, can be swallowed without bloating their belly with salt water.
Eating is hard work, so pelicans often rest on shore between meals. Once settled, they prefer to stay put. Most understand that humans are not predators and pose little threat, so they are tolerant of the curious ones, like us, who want to experience their beauty up close.
But the natural wonders of Peñasco aren't fully revealed until you peer into the shallow waters of the thousands of tide pools that define the intertidal zone.
Carpets of small sea anemones glisten in the sun, capturing plankton and small fish with their venomous tentacles.
Many people don't know this, but sea anemones can move. Larger anemones are often found alone, attached to rocks just below the surface, like this red beauty that our dad found when he lifted a rock.
Lifting small rocks is the best way to see the staggering diversity of animals that make their home in these pools. Your eyes will first be drawn to the quick movements of brittle stars.
Brittle stars are close relatives of slow-moving sea stars, which are often called starfish, but they lack suction cups beneath their arms, which allows them to move quickly along the seabed and search for food instead of crawling at a snail's pace.
97 species of brittle star live in the Sea of Cortez. It's impossible to grow bored of them, but try not to get too lost in their awesomeness because there's plenty of other amazing creatures to see, like this sea cucumber, which blends perfectly with the stony environment and could easily be missed.
Wow, I can't believe how much life was under that one rock. But Clint, that must mean that you have to be really careful when you put that rock back down.
Oh, for sure. Folks, exploring nature is one of the most exciting things you can do with your family, but it comes with a great responsibility. Every rock we lifted was put back in the exact same position, and the animals were given time to move or gently moved by us so that they weren't harmed when the rock was replaced.
Yeah, being respectful of the ecosystems that we explore is so important because they can be really fragile. And although flipping over rocks, if done properly, causes no harms, it's not really something you have to do to enjoy Peñasco's tide pools. There are so many animals right out in the open for you to observe.
Oh, for sure. In my opinion, there are 2 all-stars of Peñasco's tide pools. One is the Brittle Star. The other, all you have to do to see it, is look down.
Hermit crabs are another one of the world's most misunderstood creatures, partly because their name is so misleading. It turns out they aren't hermits at all. They gather in groups of hundreds, sometimes thousands, covering the tide pool beds with unique and colorful snail shells that they adopt as temporary homes and trade out as they grow.
While hermit crabs are perfectly safe to pick up, it's important to understand that each crab does have a territory and it isn't very big. Be sure to put it back exactly where you found it.
And also keep in mind that not all tide pool creatures can be handled without risk of injury to you or the animal. A perfect example of this is the fireworm, which is believed to be mildly venomous, though no actual venom glands have been identified by scientists.
Our dad said that handling these worms caused a stinging sensation from the small white bristles that stuck to his skin. They easily brushed off and the feeling quickly went away, but if you're a new tide pool explorer, avoid handling them, especially if you have sensitive skin.
Whether you choose to directly interact with sea life or not, it's clear that, day and night, the tide pools of Puerto Peñasco, Mexico are a vital and vibrant part of the world's aquarium.
Well, there's no doubt that you guys saw some really cool animals in Puerto Peñasco, but let's remember that this is a competition on who saw the coolest animals, me in Maui or you guys in Mexico.
All right, Jed, fine. We'll admit we might be at a little disadvantage because a storm kept us from going offshore to see some of the really large animals that the Sea of Cortez is famous for. But come on, guys, admit it. What we did see was pretty darn amazing.
There's no doubt that it was amazing, and tide pools hold some hidden treasures, so if you get an opportunity to go to them, make sure to check it out. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time here on Critter TV, where fear becomes wonder and wonder becomes passion. Bye, guys.
Thank you.